How does doubling your monthly rent compare in apartments? Today, I'm going to find out, champion. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. If this is your first time watching, you do enjoy this, consider subscribing below and let me know where you're watching from, because I do reply to everyone. And if you have been here before, you know what I'm going to say by now. Welcome back, legends, and it's been an absolute blast chatting with all of you in the comments below. Now today we're going to look at a $600 apartment and then another apartment at double the price at around about $1,200. Now they're both on the 4th floor. Oh my God, it's windy today, and about 5 minutes walk from Hirao Station. So without further ado, I say we go and have a look at this first apartment. Let's go. All right, this is the first apartment that we're looking at. Now this apartment here is 88,000 yen, which is about 600 USD. Now this is regarded as a 1 LDK apartment. It was made in 2023, so it is very, very modern here, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. I especially haven't seen this kind of layout before, but first let's jump out onto the balcony, which is very sizable for a Japanese apartment balcony. And I do love kind of sitting out in the balcony and kind of just having a bit of a drink at nighttime personally, but here they tend to just keep their laundry more on the balcony. So to have a sizable balcony, if you are a foreigner coming here, is definitely a good find. Now, you might see the difference here is you've got a living room space over here, but on top, this is where you place your bed. Now, I don't know about you, let me know in the comments below. I personally like this breakup, so I can kind of have my living space down there, but my bed is up here and a little bit raised and out of the way. And you do have a little bit of a storage space down here at the back, which is really nice. Now, as we push down here, we come into the kitchen. Again, this is a modern build, so you do have all your modern amenities, including a gas stove, which again, they tend to be a bit more electronic in like my apartment. If you haven't seen that, I'll link that one above. But you come down here and then you've got your space here for your refrigerator, which is a nice little hideaway. Some more storage for some hanging, which is fantastic. Actually, it's really deep closet, which I kind of love. And then you come back and then you come into your standard kind of toilet. So if we come down this way, and then you can kind of see in here where you've got your, obviously your modern luxury Japanese toilets, and you can't go wrong there. As in all modern Japanese apartments here, and actually a lot of the older ones, you tend to have your little monitor set up here for letting people in and deliveries and whatnot. And then as we push through back towards the start of the apartment, we come into the laundry space, which you've got enough space for your laundry, a little bit of storage here, which always goes well, standard sink. And then we come down into the bathroom, which it's a pretty standard sized bathroom. Now, the good thing about this bathroom too, which I do like in the modern apartments at least, is the panel on the side here is that you can, if you have any like washing, particularly during the winter months, it's really hard to dry your clothes outside because it does get very, very cold. So you can actually hang your washing in here, and it has a little dryer above it, and you can set this to dry your clothes, which is fantastic. But I say, oh, no, actually, just before we do go, we come to the Genkan, which is your pretty standard size Genkan. But what I do like is have a look at the depth in this Genkan. That is deep, and I'm loving all the storage there for my shoes, which I'm starting to accumulate here in Japan. But that is apartment number 1 done. Let me know what you think about that. But we're now gonna duck over to the second apartment, which is double the price. So I'm actually really curious to see what kind of value you get for double the price here in Japan. So let's push over that one and I'll see you there. Now, renting or buying an apartment or house here in Fukuoka can be challenging, and most of the time that comes down to your visa situation. But don't worry, champions, I've linked up with a real estate agent here that can help you out with that. If you have any curiosity around renting or buying an apartment here in Fukuoka, I'll pop my email in the description of this video. So shoot me an email and I can forward it on to him. But without further ado, I say we go and have a look at what this next apartment's got to offer. And now we are on to our next apartment here. It's the comparing apartment. It's about 2 times the price, this one, guys. So this apartment here is about $1,280 USD, and it's a 2 SLDK kitchen. So kitchen, living room, dining room, and a study with 2 rooms. Now, this is a much kind of bigger apartment than previous apartment that we're comparing it to before. So it's about 56 square meters, this apartment here. Now, the bedrooms here in Japan are very small. So this is regarded as a second bedroom right here, which has like your little kind of wardrobe space here, which isn't too bad, but you'd be tough to get more than a single bed in this space, I'll be honest, but it does back onto a very sizable balcony, which I do like. So very large balcony if you want to come out here and chill, and it does have like a little river down there as well. So it's not too bad, little view. So at least you're not looking onto any other apartments direct on, which is nice, but we'll come back through. Now, this is the interesting thing about this apartment, which I found, again, interesting is the only word I can think about this, but have a look what they've made in this little, which is, I guess, the study room. It has this little nook area up here. Now, I'm not too sure what you would use this for personally. Maybe like a little reading area if you've got a kid, I guess they can come up here and read, but you do have the storage underneath. So different use of the space. I'm not too sure how I feel about it personally, but hey, it's different. What are you going to do? But the one thing I do like about this place is the kitchen space. Now, generally in apartments in Japan, they do tend to be very small and the bench space isn't that large. Now, this one has a much wider bench space, which I do like, and it has all your modern amenities here, such as your double or triple burners, rather, gas stoves, which is really quite nice. But you do have this storage at the back here, enough space to put your fridge, but then enough space to put like another bench if you really wanted that here. I personally probably would have put another matching bench here, but I actually do like that I didn't actually see earlier. This has a dishwasher. Now, in comparison to Western countries, dishwashers are probably pretty standard, but here in Japan, that is a bit of a rarity. So I'm liking that, even though I don't really use a dishwasher as much, but this sink is enormous. Personally, they do sinks in Japan very massive. So I would probably prefer having about half the size sink and then more bench space just for prep, but it is what it is. It's a nice space, it's a nice space, but this apartment is a lot bigger. But from here, we then move into the bathroom space where you've got just a standard bathroom. We can kind of check that out there, which is again, it's a pretty standard looking kind of bathroom there with your modern toilet and whatnot. It's a bit tight, but then you come in, you've got your laundry room, as pretty standard here, enough to put your dryer, everything there. And then again, you've got your kind of bathroom here. But the one thing I do like about this is that you have a TV screen in your bath, so you can have a little bath by watching a Netflix. So that's not too bad. I'm not sure Netflix, but I think it's pretty standard TV. But anyway, that's not too bad. Oops, sorry there. And then we'll move back out and we're gonna go check on the second bedroom for this place here. Now, Japanese apartments, as I've mentioned in previous videos, you do have to install your own lights. So a lot of your apartments here, you have to bring your own lights, which you may think like, that's pretty annoying. It doesn't come with its own lights. But I'm telling you, up until recently, I actually installed fans in my apartments. They're a light and a fan, and they're so easy, just click and play. So I'm starting to really like the option of having to bring your own lights to apartments. But this is the second bedroom, so not too bad. But as you kind of come around this way here, and you start to come into the wardrobe. So if we'll check this out, which is a decent sized little wardrobe there too. So plenty of space, but what's not plenty of space is the size of the bedrooms. I'm not too sure how I feel about the bedrooms here. Like, it is a very nice apartment, but for this price particularly, you are kind of paying more so for the area that you're living in. This is regarded as quite an expensive area here in Harao. So you're kind of paying more so for the area and the modern apartment. This apartment was built in 2023 as well. So it's a pretty recent apartment. But other than that, guys, I'm feeling pretty good about these two apartment comparisons today. Double the price. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Which one would you choose? And what do you think about the price in comparison to maybe what you get for this money in your own countries? Let me know, guys. But until next time, as always, ja mata. And I'll see you on the next one, champions.